with home. Like I said, little demonstration application video. Say that again. Demonstration of application video. See this? Look at this. Look. See, I'm using the same. Look. That close, small circle. Wham, wham, right? Large circle. Right. Same thing. It's kind of like I'm a freaking fan of Miyamoto Musashi, right? And he says you got two swords, so it's a shame for a man to die with one of his swords undrawn. And he kind of makes these points of how, what of all the advantages of a two-handed sword technique is. And he says if you want to learn how to do it, you must start your training with two long swords. Well, I ain't got no swords at the moment. So, but I do got these two sticks. And they will supplement as a, you know, as a fill-in. Because I could easily, look, if I could whip these two sticks. And it's like, look, like me, I'm out here all late at night, right? The last thing I want to do is like hit my swords together, or my sticks, whatnot. You know what I mean? So I found it very beneficial. It was like one day I was like, oh, that's why I've been doing all this freaking turning the water ball and holding the freaking line and holding the ball and all this stuff. I mean, I love Kung Fu. It's got like such a nature-orientated philosophy behind it, but it's very practical, like in many different ways. Like I don't know all the proper Chinese and Japanese names for all of their movements and techniques and whatnot, but I read in one book, the dude said, he goes, hey, if you don't like the Chinese names, he goes, make up your own name for the move. As long as you can articulate and teach another person and they can understand it. All good in the hood. I like it. No, actually, oh. So it's kind of like with the weapons training, you need to develop this kind of symbiosis where your whatever you got becomes an extension of your body. Okay, and once again, this takes another kind of geospatial awareness. Like look, do you think I just pick these up and just learn how to do that without click clacking them? You know what I'm saying? It took me freaking like 10 years. You gotta understand, I'm not in China. I ain't got no Shaolin master out in the backyard. It's just me and trial and error, training, research, and yeah, just looking persistence over a long period of time. And it's like in the beginning, it's like Bruce Lee said it. There's this point where you get this effortless awareness, and you'll know not that you already knew. Something to that effect. You knew not, you already knew. And that happens a lot in these particular martial arts. I mean, freaking look, for my understanding, just one day, it all fucking comes together, starts to make freaking more sense. once again, look, I'm not doing no kata. I'm just doing kind of a free form. I'm letting the energy lead me. Freaking, because when I go like this, look, the G-forces from that like whip, that whipping motion, it almost, if I could do that hard enough, my foot would almost slide across the ground, right? So, in these internal martial arts, you're supposed to like, you gain these subtle freaking, like, sense what the opponent's trying to do. And instead of wasting your energy resisting him, you just go with this flow. But I notice even when you're with yourself, you can generate a lot of torque, like, or G-forces, man. Like, seriously, I could make somebody fly. Like, look, 5 feet. Freaking, some of these techniques, when you're set up and you don't know how to resist it or go with it, I mean, it really feels like almost like you're getting in a car wreck. Which, it's like, look, what's it? There's 3 levels of power. First level, obvious force, which means it's obvious the dude wants to hurt you. He's coming at you. He's using a lot of aggression. Second, mysterious force, which means it's kind of like, damn, you know something I don't know. Wait, obvious force, wait, hidden force, mysterious force. I freaking forgot. Sorry. When I remember, I'll say it again. But there's 3 levels of force: obvious, hidden. That's when you know something, you get trained, and you're just like, look, maybe a little freaking, just more slick, I guess. But mysterious is like, it's like, how in the hell did they do that? I think. I don't know, dude. Hey, I got all my books jacked, man. I got my samurai sword jacked. I got my crossbows jacked. Sorry. So, what am I supposed to do? Go jump off a cliff and give up? Or just frick it, man. Musashi, man, once again, I said, yeah, look, I'll come full circle with it. Musashi, the other best swordsman in Japan, he had this technique where he made it look like he was coming from above, and then he'd switch to come from below and up. He had an extra long sword. The Musashi despised people who use small swords or extra long swords to try to cheat and get some kind of advantage. So, on the way to the duel, he freaking carved an oar into a makeshift sword. And what he did, how he beat the guy, by just like, look, he did reconnaissance, he did intelligence. He knew the dude's technique, he knew what he was deriving his advantages from, and what he did, he took that wooden sword and made it just a few inches longer than the other guy's sword. And at the same time, he used freaking ninja psychology by, the dude was offended. It's like sometimes when I play pool with people, I'll play them one-handed. And they get all mad and shit. Like, look, like, oh, like, it's like, no, hey, that's just how I like to play. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, the dude got all offended, and actually, look, Musashi let him attack him. And actually, from the book that I read, it said he had the samurais had these bandanas on, right? And the dude actually cut Musashi's bandana right off his forehead. So that's how close he got, right into range, but just being right outside of reach. But it's like you got to give him some bait. So he let him get something, but all he got was claws, man. And then supposedly Musashi strikes him down. The dude wasn't finished yet, but because of his pride, he was so butthurt that he got beat at his own game. that he freaking came in for another fucking kill, and Musashi had to kill him. Even though from what it says in the book, it's like that wasn't Musashi's necessarily intention. Like, Musashi was pretty badass. Said he had a duel with this one guy, and he freaking cut him, and then he fucking went inside his coat like this, pulled out some herbs, and then treated the dude's wound. I mean, that's real martial arts philosophy right there. You study Chin Na, seize and control how to break through his arms. It says you're also obligated to know how to reset a bone then, or make a splint or whatnot. So you should have a generic, like fucking field medic kind of a understanding, an anatomy understanding. It's like, look, I'm aiming for your vitals. Well, I got to know where your heart's at, your liver, your kidney, your groin, neck, jugular. So you're like, look, from being wounded, injuries received in the practice, you're gonna get a crash course in knowing how to fucking fix yourself and others. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, there's a lot of good principles. I don't know if everybody adheres to them, but I take the Kung Fu Code seriously. I know sometimes it seems like I don't, 'cause I'm so fucking crazy. But you see, look, using the same, look, that same freaking ball technique, and look, it works in, look, reverse grip and forward grip. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, hey, this isn't something that you just freaking pick up like overnight, dude. You gotta like experiment. You gotta be like a mad scientist, like a mad sports scientist. Yeah, sometimes though, look, I miss the flow, if you ain't noticing. Sometimes I kind of get lost for a second. It's like, I get kind of vertigo, or I lose my equilibrium for a second, and I don't know where these are at, because they're an extension of my body. Because like I said, in movement, they become weightless. See, they're weightless for me, but when they hit you, it's going to hit you like a ton of fucking bricks. You know what I'm saying? That's from observation, through trial and error, through long, look, 10 plus years of practice, okay? Musashi said this too. You can learn all these things alone with no teacher, all by yourself. Just life is your fucking teacher. And from knowing one thing, you can learn 10 fucking thousand. And I mean, I find all these principles to be freaking true. True as fuck. I mean, I've actually looked. I didn't take his word for it. I actually put in the work for it. You know what I'm saying?